They wanted to know if they can smoke weed on the podcast.
Oh yeah, you guys are fine.
All right.
There you go.
Perfect.
Now
To hear it.
Yeah, definitely no discrimination on that. I do sometimes, but then I lose my train of thought super fast, so I try to not do it on the podcast.
Fair enough.
Unless I'm like done with my questions, then I'm like, all right, we'll see where this goes.
Fair enough. Yeah.
If we can double down, we can also just say that it's CBD.
Okay.
It's Delta 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just gonna do a couple.
Yeah, everybody busts out their Pennsylvania measure.
Any questions before we get started?
I don't think so.
The weed question was like the main question.
Weed was the main question.
What are you sipping on? What are you about to be?
I got some good old PBRs here.
PBR? Okay. I got a hams.
Respect.
What?
Got some Philly Standard Orange, local legend.
We got some leftovers from our New Year's party, so
that's the way to do it.
Yeah, and it's none of ours. It's just all other people's.
I really thought it was like didn't know White Claw would be involved. I was gonna bring some wine over.
I mean, it isn't a cork; it's a crack.
Yeah, but we have to. But don't you know we have to chug these, dude? You're gonna chug the whole bottle?
I've done it before.
No, I'm just kidding.
I've been on the wine thing. It's probably how I got the flu.
Oh, yes.
Have you secret double thing? I had the Irish flu.
But all right. So what we'll do is I'll count us in. We'll do this crack, and then we'll just kind of see where the night takes us.
All right, that
Sounds great.
All right. In 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Beers with Bands podcast with your host, Michael Torres. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Beers with Bands. This week, in my normal phrasing, in typical fashion, I have another Philly band on the podcast. How are you guys doing?
Doing great.
Doing great.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. For people wondering, I'm sitting down with In Lieu of Roses. Like I said, from Philly. Kind of like indie rock, a little bit of I had a word in my head, but I totally lost it, so I'm just going to stick with indie rock for now and see if that other word comes back.
Here it is.
Yeah.
You guys have some killer stuff out. We'll get to all that here, but before we get too far, can you kind of start with who you are and what you do in Lieu of Roses?
Sure. I'm Eric. I play guitar and sing.
I'm Dylan. I play drums and make everybody else really worried.
I'm Logan. I play bass and yell.
My name's Dylan as well. I play keyboards and sing.
I'm John. I just play guitar.
Okay. And then I think we are missing someone tonight, aren't we?
So
We had a little bit of a lineup change.
Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit.
So we used to have our homie Aub used to play synthesizers and do some like harmony vocals. So like
So
Dylan is pretty much coming in to replace that role.
As they put it,
Okay.
they retired from music at the tender age of 25.
But shout out to Aub. Aub's going to school to learn about bugs and stuff, which I
Oh
respect.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
You've eaten worms before.
Yeah, no, learning about bugs.
Yeah.
Like, hell yeah, that's awesome. Go to school. Don't be in a rock and roll band. Go to school.
You can do both.
If you have the option to.
I mean, going to school to learn about bugs, I feel like that's like a cool reason to not do music, rather than just being like, I'm going to go be an accountant.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
it's a
for sure.
good
Yeah,
reason.
I'll say I quit music for more like 4 years to go to law school. Awful decision.
But was it like a specialized, like, did you go into like music law or anything like that, or was it just like
That's
generic law?
Common misconception that musicians want to be entertainment lawyers. I don't, and I'm not.
All right, fair enough.
He didn't even pass the bar.
Why are you gonna be dunking on
I'm
him,
working
man?
on it. I'm playing in a rock and roll band with your ass.
what I'm saying. Go to school if you can, kids.
A little less Billy Sander, a little bit more stuff.
Yeah, a little bit more crack in the book.
Logan and I have a side project we just recorded at the CCP Recording Studio, Community College of Philadelphia. Amazing studio. If you're interested in music, live in Philadelphia, and you're watching this, go there. You'll probably save some money too.
Hell yeah.
Chinese Communist Party.
Yeah. Yeah.
BCP, baby.
Well, you know, now that we kind of know who we're seeing and listening to on this episode, you know, In Lieu of Roses has, at this time of this recording, you know, we're January 2024, which is crazy to think we're already like a week and a half into January, and like it feels weird. Like I'm already thinking about like months out, and I'm like, this year's already over. It's crazy.
Okay.
But at the time of this recording, there are currently 2 In Lieu of Roses EPs out. The first one came out in 2022 called Please Send, not Send Help, just Please Send. And the latest one
hopefully one of the things you send, yeah.
And then the latest one called For Eternity came out in September of 2023. 2 solid EPs. For everyone listening, please go check out Please Send if you haven't already. But I kind of want to start also kind of like at the beginning, because I know In Lieu of Roses started in like 2019. Obviously, pandemic happens. Everything kind of gets put on hold. First EP comes out in 2022, but like take me back to like, what was it like forming and then immediately having to be like, oh shit, like what do we do now? Like take me back to like that era and like what's kind of led up to now.
Yeah, I can do it. So it kind of sucked, right? Like it was the general, it wasn't a fun time.
There was a general malaise going on.
Yeah, so like I had a previous band called Eric and the Existential Crisis, and John was in that band playing bass. And after that ended, that was like kind of more like a rock and roll-ish sort of band. And when that ended, I was like having trouble finding like a drummer, because like every drummer is in like 10 bands. But I've known Dylan for like a minute, because I used to run like a house show venue like out of my basement called the Sin Bucket, and Dylan would like hang out like all of our gigs. So it wound up coming together that way. And then Dylan had been in a band called Binary, which is like a metalcore band with Logan. So that's kind of how that started. And then we like maybe wrote a couple songs, like 2-3 songs, and something like that, and then it was like done.
Yeah, kind of reworked some of the old material that you had.
And then it was just like done.
And then COVID hit, so it was just like, all right,
yeah,
it's like kind of just now what?
Yeah, we like honestly, we just didn't do anything.
Right.
So, I didn't know anything. We just didn't do anything.
We didn't get a chance to play any shows or anything like
We
that.
have some walks together.
That's true. We both moved in with our parents for a few months.
Which is great, like
our partners. It was kind of weird.
Because you and I both. I mean, we definitely. You moved out when you were 18.
Yeah.
And I moved out when I was 18, and then for the first time, being in your late 20s, being back with your parents, quite not surreal, but the food's better. I'll do that.
Yeah, the fridge is full and everything too.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy.
It was probably the first time I had a green vegetable in almost 10 years.
I was getting back towards the end of my welcome, because my mom was like, "Ooh, I think I might need you to start contributing towards groceries." I'm like,
I'm moving back to Philly.
Time to go.
I gotta put grilled cheese now. Yeah.
Not my fault you shop at like Wegmans.
Yeah, Mom. My mom went to the farmer's market and then came home one day and was like, the price of cilantro is really going up over there.
Oh my god.
The whole pandemic on, Mom. I don't know.
Oh boy. But yeah, that was pre-pandemic.
Well, props for making it through the pandemic, living at home with parents. I know how that goes. I haven't done that in a few years, and I don't. Going home is even rough just for like 2 weeks, but I commend you for that. But also for not giving up the dream of In Lieu of Roses, because I know like getting together and then immediately having COVID hit, a lot of people would have been like, well, we haven't really done anything anyways. Like, what's it matter if we just like leave it here and just like leave it unfinished, just move on. Right. So I commend you guys for going back and flushing stuff out and getting this first EP out and kind of going from there. I know that's a huge step to be like, I still have this itch. I just need to get this done.
Right. Yeah. No, I appreciate. Yeah, and I think that's like, because obviously I've been on here with my other band, Puppy Yanks. Like I play drums in that band. I don't really get to write any of the music, and whereas in this band I write most of the music, so it's like, well, at least like the guitar, vocals, lyrics, and stuff. So it's like I needed that outlet regardless. I guess also, and then
I think it also helps that like we're all just like homies.
Yeah,
that's
like we'd be hanging
so
out
it's like
anyway.
if you're gonna be hanging out with these fools anyway, why not go down in the basement and
well, that's
make some music together. Like,
the first thing I asked Derek when he was talking about bringing Dylan on. I was like, can homie hang? Like I don't care. Like, you need to know, do they hang?
Dylan can hang.
I choose.
For the name's sake.
You can hang.
But no,
that's
like
good, because like that's the last thing you want is bringing someone new in and just like throwing off the vibe. So props to Dylan for being able to hang and fit right in.
But even like the Commuter, the one like Commuter was like the first single off For Eternity. So the basic like riff of Commuter actually came from, there was a block party on Eric and Logan Street, and we were hanging out and just like chilling all day with the neighbors and everything, and they had a friend in from out of town who was also a musician, and we were just like, yo, let's jam.
Yeah, we were
down
pretty
in
lit
the
up.
basement.
It was like an all-day affair. It was like a morning, day, night affair. Yeah.
But the main riff from that song like came from that little jam session.
Yeah.
Just like getting together. So
yeah. Sure.
Now, since we're starting to get into For Eternity, if for people that might have listened to Please Send, you might have noticed that I think it's just mainly you, Eric, on vocals through that entire EP, if I'm not mistaken. So For Eternity starts, obviously you get to like towards the end of Commuter, and Obs comes in and kind of fills in like this and adds this whole extraness to the vocals on this EP. Like obviously they're not here to kind of for me to ask this question to them, but like what was how did that work out with getting them to kind of move from that like keyboard only position to also singing along on this album?
So the first album we actually had kind of odd. It was like their partner played keyboard on our first EP, and then they broke up, and Ob won us in a divorce. So Ob joined the band. Because the other person wasn't great, and Ob joined the band, and they like I had played music with them before, just like kind of messing around with singer-songwriter stuff that they do. And they went to school for music. They have this incredible singing voice, but they're a little bit shy sort of deal. So I think that like I wrote most of actually I probably wrote all of the vocal melodies. And I just really like when bands get multiple voices. Like I think it just keeps things interesting and fresh, and especially when it's like more like a femme voice and like a masculine voice. Like I really just love the like those sort of combinations, especially recorded. So like getting them on that was awesome. Also, they like their vocal takes were like perfect every time. It was like really dumb. It was like in the studio, right? Like even when they were like doubling themselves, it was like they were like, I don't know how you did this. Like microsecond sound perfect. Every take absolutely perfect on key, everything. So they made it really easy on us, I think. Yeah.
Well, your voice also works well with them voices.
Yeah.
Like the Eric and the Existential Crisis EP with originally with Kaylyn, but then when it was recorded with Katie.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. From
From the World Is.
From the World. Yeah. So I'm a big fan of The World Is, right? Because like that band, The World Is a Beautiful Place, and yeah. So like I really like how they mix vocals and stuff historically, and the person Katie, that has
we met Katie because they started dating a friend of ours at the time, and he brought them over to do a case race, which is like when you try to drink. What is it like?
No, we did it with Lion's Head. So you have to drink the beers and then solve the riddles.
Yeah, so you have
under the
Oh
cat.
shit!
your team has to drink, I think, 12 beers. Like the first team to drink 12 beers. Teams of 2.
But then
And then you've got to solve the
you
riddle.
gotta solve the riddles. That's important.
Yeah.
But anyway, regardless, they sang on the first EP, and then but like I kind of always have been doing that, like femme voice, masculine voice, singing kind of thing. I just really like it. So.
And it works well for it.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Eric. Like that's one thing that I really enjoy too, just because like you get the different contrast throughout the song, and especially when it's done, in my opinion, like right where you can bounce off each other the right way, or if there's like a nice little like call and response, kind of like in "Don't Talk to Me," where you that little ending port or like the choruses where you guys do the call and response. I think it works so well, and it just adds so much. Like, don't get me wrong, Please Send is still an amazing EP, but with adding in OBS into For Eternity, like I feel like it took just In Lieu of Roses like that whole step forward. Obviously they're not here anymore, but like it took it that whole step like forward of like, oh my god, like, and just everything from first EP to second EP just sounds the maturity and everything. Like I really enjoyed listening to both EPs and just seeing the progression that has happened so far.
He doesn't like being held, and you know that. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I think that the first EP was like I think that they both EPs had like different directions and ideas behind them, right? Like the first one was kind of more, most of it was like more kind of like rock and roll influence, and the second one, Americana, and then like For Eternity was like more kind of, I think, the direction I wanted to go in, which is like more alt rock, emo, gazy, slacker, yeah, kind of like
a nod to like 90s, just like alt rock bands, kind of in a sense.
Yeah,
from Nirvana to Dinosaur Jr.
to Duster.
Well, I was really into Codeine at the time. I really like slowcore and stuff. So
I thought you meant you're like, I didn't realize you had a cough syrup thing.
Well, that was the first time anybody was like, yo, do you fuck with Duster? And I was like, well, I've done it a few times, but it's a very enjoyable experience. And they were like, no, I'm talking about like the slowcore band. And I was like, oh, never heard of them.
Yeah,
I didn't need to talk to somebody.
Nothing's better than your mom asks you why you have a leftover crack t-shirt, and if that means you're also smoking leftover crack.
No, Mom, I just like folk punk. She's like,
there's folk and there's punk. You don't put them together.
I'm taking away your electronics.
Your iPad's going in the safe. I was like, you don't have an iPad or a safe.
Okay, all right.
Ska songs are cool. And then I started riding trains.
Next thing you know, I lost a leg. I don't know, whatever. But
no, don't worry about it.
So obviously we see that transition from first EP to second EP. Not to get too far ahead of myself, but do we see that this sound from For Eternity kind of leading into the next release, like keep going this avenue?
Oh yeah, I think so. I think that like especially like Commuter, like that kind of direction. I guess it's just like whatever I'm listening to at the time, and like what I've been listening to is like a lot more gazy stuff, and there's a lot of cool stuff happening in Philly, right? Like that's like kind of shoegaze inspired, right? Like that's like the thing right now, and like because of that proximity, I feel like I've been just listening to so much of it, and it's kind of bleeding into the stuff I write.
Sick, dude. That's awesome. I feel like this. Obviously, I've done like a lot of Philly bands. I feel like this is the first I've heard that there's like this little like kind of like shoegaze revivalness going on. I'm in Minneapolis.
Not for nothing, like the whole entire
shoegaze all the time.
Like what's going on in Philly right now, I feel like there's a lot of people that are just like, they're not like putting on just like niche genre shows. It's not like there's just like, all right, this is who you hit up to like book an indie show, this is who you hit up to book a hardcore show. Like feel like a lot of spaces that are active right now in Philly are just kind of like, whether they're promoting the shows, booking the shows, whatever, they're just like, it doesn't really matter. Like, we just want to have music going on. And like, you'll also just like I love going to mixed genre shows. I think that like, you know, if you book bands that sound similar to like the touring band that you're trying to support, that doesn't always like hit right. I don't know.
I mean, I also think,
but there's definitely a lot of, definitely like a very nice spread of just shit going on in the city right now.
Yeah. And I think COVID is actually, in a certain sense, good for the local scene. So I think 2019, like
it kind of reset everything in
Yeah.
Philly
Weeded out the suckers.
because, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, Philly was so
It was
like
really
for so long it was like
2019
Midwest emo, but like in the Northeast. You know what I mean? It was like that,
Yeah.
like bands like Marietta and Algernon and stuff. Like that's what like all Philly music scene was for like.
yeah,
Twinkle.
it was
Twinkle
that,
emo.
but it was like switching into like an alt country thing, and it was getting whatever. I don't care. It was getting very boring. I thought it was getting really boring.
Sure.
That's my opinion. It doesn't represent the opinion of In Lieu of Roses. But
Yeah,
then,
I
like,
love alt country. Go away.
I love all country
Yeah.
too when it's done well.
I'm a big fan.
But,
of all country.
I think that like after the pandemic, there was so much like creative energy.
Yeah.
There's been like just an explosion, especially like, you know, like I'm 31 years old and seeing like the new bands come up, like kids that are coming to shows from like Temple or Drexel or wherever. It's been like sick. I think there's like a lot of really cool stuff going on, whether it be shoegaze or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean that's awesome to hear. I know, you know, a lot of people during COVID they were like, when shows come back, it's mixed bills or nothing. Like everyone's playing because everyone's gonna want to play anyways. And I feel like even though everyone said that, I feel like a lot of places are still like, the hardcore bands are over there, like the pop punk bands are over there. Like most shows that I see are still somewhat separate. Obviously Minneapolis has a really good scene also, and like I just see all these young kids going out to these all ages shows that I avoid because I feel way too old, my knees hurt. So but like the bills seem to be pretty mixed and just a great time, so it's nice to see that you guys are also seeing like the younger kids coming through and like keeping it going. Do you also feel every once in a while that it's just like there's so many new bands that it's just hard to keep track of like anything that's happening in the scene?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think at least Dylan and I, like, we're both at shows like 2-3 days a week, probably.
Yeah.
Like, the two of us, like
Between
sure.
like I play in currently like I guess like 4 bands, and I always like going out to shows anyway, so it's like always just seeing like I'm just like, oh my god, it's a Philly band, and I'm watching them play, and it's like, oh, I've never even heard of these fools. Like, what's up with that? But I get surprised a lot of the time. Just seeing
There's a lot of great music coming.
and it's not even just the young dudes too. Like, there's a lot of bands that are just like older dudes that have been like, well, older people or whatever that have just like been in the fucking scene for a while, but like, oh yeah, they played in bands like 10 years ago that your homie's telling you about, and you're just like, oh, I didn't know that this is their new project now. Like, oh, that's cool.
It doesn't stop. Yeah.
Yeah, it's sick.
Yeah.
And it's also just regardless of like whatever you're looking for, I feel like Philly is always just like there's always shows going on.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be hard pressed to like find a night where there's not, whether it's a house show,
if you want to find a show,
a bar venue or a bigger venue, like you'd be hard pressed to find a night in Philadelphia where you can't go to a show.
There's not at least like 3-4 options,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And that's the other thing I think.
And sometimes that's a bad thing.
Sometimes
Because you're like, oh man, like
a lot of people.
my band's playing this show, and I want to go see this band play.
Mm-hmm.
And I've gotten myself into trouble before where I double booked with one of my other bands the same night on Louis Rose's show, but it happened both the venues were 2.5 blocks away from each other, so I was able to make it happen.
Perfect.
Yeah.
The other time I just dropped it, and I made them do a noise set.
Oh yeah.
Because it was our EP release. I'm very bad at calendar scheduling.
Calendar, not my strong suit.
Yeah, don't own one.
Nor should you.
I got my dad one for Christmas.
Listen,
Actually,
there's a well,
You have a calendar in your phone, so you saying you don't have a calendar is
listen.
false.
If you believe
It's
time
different.
exists,
Having a
the
physical
calendars are
thing-
useful. But if you live outside the realm of temporality, Eric,
Okay,
which
sure.
Dylan and I do.
Sure, okay.
It's definitely different.
So speaking of that EP release show, like I did mention earlier, For Eternity came out back in September. You did a release show shortly after it. I think there was you also did like a benefit at the same time from what I was seeing for some of the proceeds. But how was that show to finally get, like, obviously this is EP2, the last one came out, Please Sound, I think came out in like June or July of 2022. But how did it feel to get this new sound out there into the world finally in full?
It was good because it was like a different direction. I think like how we wanted to represent ourselves. Like we like really don't. I don't think we play like only like one song off the first EP still. We play "Sorry for Party Rockin' in the Free World." is the
I think it's just Sorry for Party Rocking on the track list.
is it whatever, it doesn't matter. No, I'm okay. No, I think that it was really cool to be able to play all those songs and like finally have the EP released, because it's like, like recording's a long process. When you're from the time you're done tracking to the time something is released is always like 6 months something.
Right.
And
sometimes even longer. Too.
Yeah, exactly. It's like at least minimally 6 months. And it's frustrating because you're like, I have all this stuff and I want to play all these songs live. And we get, you get asked to play shows and you just want to play them and you just want to put it out and you want to show everything, all this amazing thing that you've created. But like, you also don't want to show everybody, right? Because you want people to listen when it comes out.
And that's one thing that I like fully like don't envy about like people playing music is I there's no way that I would be able to sit on any of that for that long and not like leak it, because like I record episodes right now about like a month in advance. Even that for me is like hard enough to be like, I want to release who I'm going to already have in February, and I can't release that until like I can't release that schedule till the end of this month. And it's like I just want everyone to know like who's coming, and I'm planning something for June and I want to already talk about it. Granted, it's in this podcast now, but I'm not saying exactly what it is, but I want to talk about it and post about it all day. But I'm like, I can't. I gotta time that one out right. And it's incredible for anyone that like, especially in your guys' position where you're sitting on it for 6+ months. I can't imagine. Like I know how I would feel, but like major props for like restraining yourselves.
I mean, there's definitely like, I don't know if I can speak for everybody else that was sitting on those recordings, but I was definitely like sending them to certain people just to get like opinions.
Yeah.
Because like I feel like a lot of times like I'm just like I'll hear something recorded and I'm just like, all right, cool. Like that's fine.
That was the first time I got really envious of the last guitar player, a good friend of ours, still very good friends, but Eric had sent me the stuff and I was like, this guy gets to play guitar? Fuck this guy. I want to play on this. This isn't fair. And I didn't say anything, but then Eric said, do you want to play in the band? I was like, yeah, I do. So yeah, I don't know. It's a non sequitur, but whatever. I that's how I joined the band, is that I really loved For Eternity.
I feel like there's something about like waiting on it though, at least from our perspective, because like this was the first release where we actually had like a release timeline. With Please Send, we were, a new band. We had written these songs a while ago and we're kind of like getting them together. So it was like, we want to put them out as soon as possible.
I recorded them in a basement.
Yeah, but then with this one, it was like, all right, we're going to a studio. We're going to spend time with it. We need to have like, we want to have all the imagery correct. We want to make sure like the music itself represents something, but it's like it's a package deal, because like a consumer, like they listen to it but they see the artwork and it invokes something, they see the title and it makes them think of something, so it's like trying to get all those pieces in place. So when the release happens, it like can really pop off.
It could be a good unit shifter.
Exactly. Yeah. Which I don't know. It felt like one.
It felt like it. Yeah, it definitely felt like we did like the whole hype build up thing. So
yeah, I mean, it paid off.
I think so. Yeah,
the Philamoka show was. I think it didn't sell out, but it was really close.
Yeah, our release show was like really close to selling out, and the bands we played with were incredible. So you know, it was a good time.
Yeah. But then you got to keep it moving, you know, because it's like you put that out, and now it's like, all right, cool, what's next?
Yep.
So,
well, since you bring that up, I mean, what is next? What's on the horizon for In Lieu of Roses?
The goal is a full length, is the next goal, and we're already like well on our way, because at least for me, like my favorite part about music is probably writing. Like that's just like my absolute favorite part about doing this whole thing. Like live shows are great and fun too, but I don't know, I just like really like creating new things all the time. So I'm like always like excited. Okay, cool. Like I've never done a full length of music that I've written. I've always done like shorter releases because I maybe I didn't have patience to write 10, 12 songs, whatever. I don't know.
You just didn't need to.
Yeah, all right. I'm like, 4 or 5 songs, sit. Yeah, like, let's go record.
We definitely, I think, you know, back in the day, or like mine and Eric's very first band, Bias Universe, which is once again a band where I was like, I was in another band in Asbury Park, and then I was like sick of it. And my buddy was like, you should talk to Eric. And I was like, I'm not talking to that guy. Fuck that guy. I went to jam with them. And then immediately we're just like, we have these songs. Like, let's just put these songs. Let's just do this thing.
Right.
Like, but especially you've always kept that sort of like, we've got the songs. Let's just do it. Let's play shows and let's keep moving.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I agree. And, but no, yeah, we're working on full length. We've already started demoing. Like Dylan does like recording and stuff. New Dylan. Dylan too does like is helping us like demo stuff. So like we're already started. So I'm hoping to we're hoping to play out of town a lot more. Like last year we played a little bit out of town, but I definitely want to play in different cities and stuff like that. So.
I think we're trying to maybe lay down some stuff in like April. I don't know if that's still there.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
We'll see what the tax returns look like.
Right, exactly.
Defining things.
No, that's awesome. I'm stoked to see kind of what a full length from In Lieu of Roses kind of looks like. Obviously, you know, For Eternity is a solid. I think it's what technically 6 songs. Talk to Me is 30 seconds, so it's like the intro song.
That song originally, not to interrupt you, but that was like one song that we kind of just divided into 2 parts when we hit the recording process, just because of like.
I thought it'd be kind of fun too, because it's like those are the first two lines of the song. So
yeah. No, like I like that they're split up, but I also see how they were originally themselves, and like they fade into each other so well. Where if you aren't looking at track listing, you just think it's one long song anyways. But I really love how you kind of separated it as like that little because I think in one of the Instagram posts you kind of talked about how like one's the kind of like the happy conversation and the other one's kind of just like the opposite end of that conversation, so it makes sense to separate them. But I mean the whole EP is sick, and I'd love to see what kind of like a back 6 or back however many songs you want to do for a full length is from In Lieu of Roses. I'm sure it'll be sick.
Thanks. Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to it.
Do you have like a song? I know this is kind of probably a hard one to answer, but do you have a number in mind as to how long the full length is going to be?
Like in terms of minutes?
Yeah, I need the minutes to the the amount of like songs you guys are thinking for the full length.
Somewhere between 9 and 12, I'm thinking probably, and like, you know, maybe we'll beef it up. Maybe we'll throw in like an interlude or 2.
Maybe we'll do like
there you go.
We've been talking about having some sort of like spoken word interlude since you and I have been talking about it since 2015.
I was gonna say I've never.
Well, we've never successfully pulled it off. So maybe we'll do like a Sufjan Stevens thing. We'll just like
we're just gonna do. There's gonna be
2 hours
break
long.
beats.
Yeah, we're gonna do some slam poetry.
Some good stuff.
Over break.
I'm gonna break out my high school notebooks.
Yeah.
And we'll see what's
What young John has to say.
yeah, it's nothing good. My mom,
Man,
but I have a crush on her. She doesn't like
Man,
it. Yeah.
LP1's gonna be crazy. I know we kind of heard about how like your earliness getting into the band for being envious of the other guitar player and then getting in. I'm kind of curious on for Dylan, Dylan number 2, I guess. What like how was it with you getting asked to join the band? Like what were your thoughts beforehand, and then obviously getting in?
I'd known Eric. I had played guitar in a band, Puppy Yanks, that he's in currently. So like that's how I met him. And we've been like friends. Like that's just like friends since that. And like he sent me like I don't know, like friends like send each other like their music, and like he sent me like the first like In Lieu Of Roses stuff, and I was like, oh shit, like this is really sick. And like I don't know, it's like I've like had like a crazy like busy like past couple of years, but like he like hit me up like probably like mid-November. My other project played a show with Puppy Yanks, and we like talked about it at the show, just like seeing if like I could like help with like In Lieu Of Roses. So like I've just been like hanging out, like trying to like figure out singing, playing keyboards, helping like demo. It's about
Been good so far. They play their project's called Velvet Graves. It's really good. It's like very shoegaze. Like it's fun, and the way that they did it live was really cool. When I got to see, because was that your first show with that, like with the new music? It was cool. They did it all solo with like backing tracks and stuff like that. It was very cool.
Oh shit! Hell yeah!
Yeah. No small feat to pull off.
Yeah.
The real question is, we haven't all gotten real drunk together yet. That's for me. That's the most important thing.
I'm glad.
Well, we'll see. We still have some time. We'll see how far this gets for you.
Yeah,
I know it is Wednesday, but one question I asked recently to another Philly band, and I don't remember their answers. Otherwise, I would chime those in. But it's Philly's been on, obviously, like I mentioned. I talked to a lot of Philly bands. One of these days I need to make my way out to Philly and just like go to a show, meet up with like as many people as I can. Let's say there's a show happening. Whatever the lineup is, but in each one of your opinions, your favorite venue. And that's the one I should go to. Like, what's your favorite venue in Philly if I'm like coming to town?
So,
more specific, I feel like.
Yeah, we need to know like what's
okay, well let's talk about it.
There's like so do you want like a tiered? Can we do like a venue tier? Like
so let's
say
like favorite house venue, favorite bar / venue that has a small little room, and then favorite like they're Live Nation.
Probably not fully Live Nation style. I would say probably like
because actually
400 to 500 cap room. A nice something to get the real good like Philly feel. Maybe even a house show too would probably work.
It's the church. It's the church. That's what I know. It's the church. It's just the Unitarian church. I feel like that's the answer.
Okay, they're gonna say the
favorite
house venue. You can say that, but you can for everybody.
One time I
don't make me get
you can go first.
So Logan, tell us what you think. I like the church. I
Sorry.
Spot like that after that.
I don't want to go second.
Yeah, no, you can go second now.
All right. I love Philomoka. That's my favorite. That's my favorite. Philomoka or Johnny Brandes. Those are my favorite.
Yeah.
They're my favorite. Philomoka's great. It's Philomoka's great because of the story of the whole thing. Like that's what makes it the best in my personal opinion.
Eric's a big Diplo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Diplo's
Diplo is the landlord that owns Philadelphia.
and they didn't have licenses for 15 years.
The landlord.
So okay,
Yeah.
all right, no, because it's cool because like all the block party stuff that Diplo did, right? Not a Diplo fan. The cool part is like Eric and Justin, right? Running this whole shit for 12 years, right? Like barely making any money, having lived up
That's not
there,
cool.
right? Why is it not cool? Why does it suck? Like it's like the only all ages venue in the city, basically, right?
No, it rocks.
What about First?
I will say
Unitarian?
Philadelphia.
It's actually true.
Philadelphia rock.
Yeah, but the basement's like
Yeah, I mean, I know, but R5 runs. I'm not
I've
saying
seen,
it's bad.
I've seen a show like in the actual First.
Yeah.
Unitarian. They also have
I played
shows
it.
in the chapel.
All right,
yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk it.
All right, we can't all talk at once, so
Your
I'll
turn.
just start talking. My favorite venue is Kung Fu Necktie, which is like an old punk bar. It's awful. It's gross. The sound isn't good.
No,
But-
it's awesome.
Yeah, but it's awesome.
No,
The sound's pretty
When
good.
was the last time you were connected?
I don't know, years ago. I don't go out.
And they're big.
Are they gonna do
Kung Fu Necktie is great.
No,
Kung Fu Necktie rules.
Kung Fu Necktie. I don't know why I just decided to deride them. It's a great venue. It's just a classic like punk metal bar, and they get like very cool acts to come through. But that'll always be my favorite.
Right. I mean, like my reason for Film Oka is like I think it's
Film
cool.
Oka's my
They do
second.
a lot of like amateur film stuff.
Yeah,
Like they've had like they've
stuff.
had like David Lynch there.
Yeah.
Like they do like
David Lynch
amateur
was
wrestling and
Yeah.
shit. Like it's really cool.
What was that place? We went to some. Eric and I went to see our other friend play a few weeks ago.
McCuskers.
No, not McCuskers. 2300 bar. Which is
That's not on the list. Let's not get into that.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
not-
okay.
that's
Alright.
not on that one.
So, I don't know, like, if anybody's watching this and they know anything with Philadelphia house shows, there's this spot called the Golden Tea House. And
Yeah.
like the Golden Tea House,
Like legendary.
Legendary.
I
Yeah.
think that it was like 7-8 years
Yeah.
that they were running
1 year,
It started
consecutively.
when I was in college.
Well,
I mean, they've been going.
No, 'cause
Yeah,
like, if you think
but-
about like Japanese breakfast, like
Yeah.
whiskey, right? Like all these.
All these fools were
Right.
playing in a kitchen in West Philadelphia,
Right.
right?
Dude, hell yeah.
They just started at this same house hosting shows again. Now it's called Mini Mart. So if
Mm.
anybody's watching this,
I know. I'm trying to.
got to go to Mini Mart. That's the new Golden Tea House. Insane. Like I remember driving up from South Jersey and going to house shows there, and people like climbing over the fence into the backyard because they would come in through the front and be like, "Oh, the show's capped. Like we can't let anybody in," and people would just run around the side of the bodega and go down the alley and climb in through the backyard and just like light a cigarette, pretend like they were there already or something like that. and then
Like
step back in.
any big Philadelphia area act you can think of that's
Yeah.
older than 5 years is like played at that place. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely like Alex G in high school. Skin cells.
Yeah. Right. Right. No, true.
Skin
Like
cells
for real.
right
Yeah.
there and fucking.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I think Dylan's up. Or did I?
Yeah. I think my favorite two, honestly, are like Uki Club. It's like a Ukrainian like citizens hall, and
Like-
I just hear like the people that like own it are really cool. Just like I don't know, like all the shows I've been to, they're really chill. The bar is hella cheap.
Very important part of any
Yeah.
venue.
My other favorite is probably like Photo Club. It's kind of spelled stupid. It's like FOTO. But I don't know. It's like far away, so like I don't feel like a lot of people go.
It's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like in the middle of nowhere for Philadelphia, right? So just
Okay.
like, but like
like-
it's in like a very random neighborhood.
Yeah.
But like I don't know. All the shows I've seen there have been super cool.
Yeah,
Every like
sounds
night
pretty
I've
good.
just like hung out there. It's been super cool. I don't know. It's a cool spot.
There's a lot. I mean,
Fuck
that's
with it.
once again, I'll say like since the pandemic, there's been like a lot of like Philly's always had a really strong house show scene. But I think since the pandemic, there's been a lot of like venues that have popped up that have been really cool. I don't know how. I don't know. I don't know.
Polo Club's been going, but
Yeah.
we just weren't because it's past
that
Port
in the middle
Richmond.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's in
and
the middle
shout
of
out cousin
fucking
Danny.
nowhere.
Oh,
Cousin Danny's rules. Yeah.
Shout out cousin.
Yeah.
Danny's.
Come to
That-
Philly.
That's just like
Cousin
just
Danny's.
like
Best spot.
So
yo, if
I
you
like
come to
totally
Philly,
forgot
I'm saying I got a guest bedroom. We've already met twice, so you can.
Right.
It's fine.
It's-
You're welcome.
I've stayed. It's comfortable.
I got a comfy
Okay,
guest bedroom.
Listen, well, I also want to
Fuck
give an honorary shout out to the Sin Bucket. It's not
Yeah.
around anymore, but
We both lived at how long? 7 years at a house show venue.
yeah.
like that's a fucking
Damn.
We reached almost not legendary status, but there's some bands that have rolled through.
Oh,
there.
actually, a Minneapolis band. What's that band? Remo Drive. Those
Yeah.
kids.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're nice kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in Minneapolis, by the way. If you didn't.
I picked up on it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to assume.
You're okay. Yeah, no, I so I'm technically now I did a big boy things in May and I bought a house. That's where I'm at now.
Oh, congrats!
Yes.
Nice.
Thank you. If you're ever in Minneapolis, let me know. But prior to this, I lived in what I would say is one of the staple like house venues in Minneapolis. It used to be going. They stopped doing shows probably 4 years before I moved into the house, but it basically been musicians for like the last like 15 years living in the house. Like we finally all moved out, so like it's the renter, like it's all new renters that no one is associated with. So it was kind of crazy when we moved out. But they also were like a really sick venue where like the Swellers played there. Like just crazy shows would happen there in like a small little basement, and I miss that shit. But also I'm happy that none of that stuff happened while I was living there because my room was also like 10 feet from like where the stage was. But yeah.
Back during the Sin Bucket days, my room was right next to the one bathroom, and so it'd be like an amazing thing, I'd be like, just trying to get in my room and do whatever it was I need to do, and it's just like a line of people that are like every single one on multiple occasions, like, you can't cut the fucking line, dude. Dude, like, first of all, I pay rent here, and you're using my toilet paper. Second of all, I'm just trying to lock myself away from this.
Yo, that's hilarious that he said you're using my toilet paper. Like he ever bought toilet paper.
I gave you money for the toilet paper. I gave you money.
Oh, I'm sure you stole toilet paper from work.
Yeah,
Right?
you did. Every single
Counts.
time.
High stakes.
Half ply. Half ply, Mr. Tender Butt over here. couldn't handle it.
What's half ply? Less than one ply?
You could see through it.
Yeah, you can literally see through it. It's horrendous, dude. No one deserves to treat their butt that way.
I treated my butt like that until I finished law school.
You're gonna get fissures.
You okay?
I got I've got hemorrhoids.
Hemorrhoids.
I sit on it. All right,
You're off.
enough ass talk.
Beers with proctologists.
You've heard of Pints Declinus. This is beer.
Yeah. Yeah, you're about to get dropped by your insurance.
We got an hour.
I don't want to. Well, yeah. Go on. Let's keep it going.
All right. I know we kind of talked. I know Dylan walked away, but I'm sure they'll be back. But I know we talked about there he is. I know we talked, the EP kind of early in lieu of roses. We kind of talked some favorite venues in Philly. But is there anything that I might have not brought up about either the EP or in lieu of roses that you want the people to know about?
Just keep your eyes out. We'll be playing a bunch this year, and I'm really excited with because John and Dylan weren't on the last couple EPs, and I'm really excited to get their input with all the new stuff because the last one I basically wrote all the guitar stuff. I'm really excited to have John writing guitar stuff and Dylan with keys and also helping write guitar and vocal things. I'm trying to spread around the vocals more.
Dude, my main thing is recording and shit.
Yeah.
So I feel that'll be fun. Just
Right.
I don't know, have a producer type.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because I just want to dig in like last time we did it, right? It was just like we practiced the songs a lot, went to the studio, played them, and I really want to take my time and demo everything and be like ultra intentional about stuff. So I'm like really excited, being because like Dylan recorded all their own stuff for a while now, and they're going to school for it too. So I just think it will be really cool to be like ultra intentional and really pick apart everything that we do to make it like as best as it can. So I guess like anybody listening, like go listen to For Eternity. Like it's like probably my favorite thing that I've ever written, and keep an eye out because we'll be traveling and playing in Philly and playing around the country and stuff. So
hell yeah, I'm super stoked for what 2024 looks like for In Lieu of Roses. I also, obviously with like Dylan coming along and being able to kind of do that, take that producer role. I love when bands have someone in-house that's part of the band that can take that role, because one, you don't feel like you're rushing yourselves to like, oh, we need to get this done or practiced up so we can go to a studio and have them deal with all this. And you can kind of take your time and make, you're going to be putting all this time into an LP. You can make it exactly what you want and how like you take the time to put all that effort in the right way rather than just rushing it. And I'm super stoked, like I said, to see what 2024 is like.
thanks.
I'm very stoked for this LP.
Yeah, I think that also it's like I feel like every release I've ever had, and most, you should feel this way, like every time I release something I feel like this is the best thing I've ever released, and like regardless of whether that's just maybe my perspective or not, like I'm sure I'm still gonna feel that way in the future, just because like you grow and you learn and you mature and you improve at different instruments or voice, or you like
have new experience.
Yeah, new experiences. Like I have so many new influences now, and I'm trying to you try to get out of your comfort zone, and yeah, so it's gonna be cool.
Yeah, I'm excited. I've never worked with a group of people that have been more excited to work with, and it's the first time I've ever been in a band where I feel comfortable enough to like try to. I've always been like sort of a side, like I'll play guitar on your record all day, every day, but I've never like felt comfortable enough to like try to write my own songs and bring them to a band until I was with these fine folks. So I'm really excited to, work with everybody on stuff that I've tried to write over the past like year or so too. So
yeah, it's gonna be good. I've loved seeing the vibes between all of you, especially like the mini tangents where you kind of just do a little yelling at each other. That's the stuff as like a listener that I really love, because obviously everyone has listened to Please Send and For Eternity multiple thousands of times,
Right. Yeah.
But obviously we know what y'all sound like, and we know In Lieu of Roses from the music, but to see how a band interacts aside from the music, like that's like one of my favorite things about doing this. That's why I'll let like pretty much any band just go off and just do what the fuck they want to do, or like what happens, because I'm just like, to me, I'm like, this is gold. I'm gonna get like, this is gold right here. Like, everyone's gonna love this shit.
Anybody who's ever been like in the van with us when we're going to show, especially if they're more than 10 minutes away, gets pretty annoyed pretty quick.
Annoyed?
Yeah, we're so obnoxious, but like I mean, we have a good time.
Eric and John have known each other for how many years?
Oh, we met in high school.
Yeah.
I mean, we weren't like great friends in high school. We knew each other a little bit, and then
They at least went to high school together.
Yeah, we went to high school. Yeah.
For better or for worse, since maybe 2017,
Yeah,
Logan
late
and I have been the drums and bass, like the rhythm section of bands.
Oh, and when did we even start like Puppy? I don't even know. 2018, 2017.
Yeah.
So I've been playing bands with them for like that's Dylan was also one of the original members of Puppy Yanks too.
So it's been some time.
We got a lot of stuff going.
And like Dylan booked my bands. Like I'm
Right,
from, like
when you were like a
2016 or
child.
something
Yeah.
like that. I'm from South Carolina and Dylan's from New Jersey. And like he
We
booked
just
my
somehow
bands
linked
in New
up.
Jersey when I was like a teenager, so it's just like, crazy like small world shit.
Yeah.
Dude, hell yeah. I
Well,
feel
at
like
first, I think Dylan was like, "Oh, you mean what was the name of your band again?"
My brother, my sister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when I was like, "Oh yeah," like I want to have like Dylan come like he's Dylan Justice was like, "Oh, my brother, my sister, what?"
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Dude, this dude doesn't forget any band. Like Dylan can be like, "Oh, I saw that singer in their last band in 2016 at this stupid house in South Jersey," and yeah,
Johnson.
he will tell you every band he's ever seen.
I
Not remember any of the shows we have booked. Not a single.
I'll say
Terrible at keeping account.
I met this Dylan. Well,
Retrospect, you can remember everything.
I met this Dylan. Like I had no idea they were a musician. They played anything about. All I knew about Dylan was like, there'd be a show at the Sin Bucket, whatever, and occasionally this little rascal would run up and be like, "Hey, John, do you have a beer and a smoke for me?" And like, the first time I was like, "What? How does he know my name?" But since then, it's been like, "Of course, my man."
Oh, bro.
You know. And then we've had many before we ever played music together. We had many a fun conversation outside of like some show,
Right.
just like having a really good time together.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
What do you have to say about that?
There's not a lot of room in the Sin Bucket side yard.
Yeah, especially when somebody's peeing in the drain.
I never listened.
I did.
Yes, I was probably.
All right.
No,
well, we kind of talked all about In Lieu of Roses with the new EP, and all that fun stuff. But obviously, this is Beers with Bands. Like I normally say, you don't have to be drinking all these episodes, but I know y'all fine folks are drinking on this fine Wednesday. What's everyone drinking on this fine Wednesday?
I got a high noon, which is like, I don't know, vodka with grapefruit juice.
Canned cocktail.
It's a canned cocktail.
classic hams.
Hell yeah.
I think we all three of us.
Oh, that's a Minnesota call out too, right?
Yeah, born in
Yeah.
that's Michigan.
No, it's
Born in
Wisconsin, you jerk.
When are they coming for
It's
us?
Wisconsin.
Their hams I think used to be in Minnesota because I've gone to a show that's at next door to like a hams
Wisconsin
distillery venue, like next door to like an old
Oh,
44 maybe.
words. Yeah,
it originated in Minnesota.
it might have originated here, or at least they had like a brewery here.
It says land of the whatever sky blue water.
Well, no, it says
Yeah, land
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yeah, but Minnesota is
the land of the sky blue
water.
water.
Lake.
Yeah, we got all the lakes.
I'll say
Lake
this.
State.
I'll say this.
I don't know.
If you ever can't sleep, there's a show on Hulu called, and it's a History Channel show. It's called "The Food That Made America." And it's an awful
That
show.
sounds awful.
But if you can't sleep, pop a Xanax, put that on. You'll
Where
sleep
am I
in no
getting
time.
those Xanax, John?
Is there an episode of
Anyway, what's
If you're like me, your girlfriend has them. I don't know.
They're all drinking Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Yeah.
It's not that.
Hell yeah.
It makes it obvious.
No,
Established
they
in
are
Milwaukee,
just-
1844, selected as America's best in 1893.
We were drinking Philly.
You know it.
Yeah. Very good. That's what I'm saying. Nothing wrong with a PBR.
Nothing wrong at all with the PBR. 60,
I drink like PBRs for like 95% of these episodes.
They're so easy.
It's-
To drink.
What's the other 5%?
It varies from like Modelo's, hams. I've had like Dos Equis. I've done seltzers like White Claws. I think I've done some high noons. I've recently did like the spiked lemonades. Just kind of those times where I'm like, oh, I've drank way too much like hams or PBR. I need something way lighter, and then I switch it up.
Yeah.
I hear that.
No,
Do you get surf sides out there?
Honestly, I
Those
have
are
a
good.
very good idea for this podcast, if I may pitch.
Oh yeah,
Do you have an Instagram account for this podcast?
I do.
You should like do a poll on your story for what beer the bands,
Oh.
and you should drink.
That's a good
for
idea.
your podcast.
That's marketing, baby. That's a really
So I haven't done it on Instagram, but I have posted on at least X, not Twitter, X. You know, as
Call it Twitter. Shout out Elon.
as to like
shout out Elon. Fuck that.
You can
yeah,
edit.
we're gonna cut
We'll
get rid
edit
of
that.
that.
I'm gonna give you a 25-minute lecture on Karl Marx.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Yo, anybody watching this? Venmo me $50. I got a $50 Amazon gift card. I'll trade it for real money because I can't support Amazon.
But I did make a post of like, hey, I drink PBR all the time. I want to drink something new. What should I drink? And a bunch of people just sent me, and like no shade to any of the people that sent me like options to drink, but they sent me like local stuff from their area, and it's not in like Minnesota. I'm like, okay, one, I can't get it. So that's kind of difficult.
It'd be
And
different
it's
if they were just like, yo, I'll like buy like a 4-pack and ship it to you.
right. That would have been tight.
That would be lit.
Yeah, that's a good idea too.
That
You
would
could
be
like,
lit.
if you want to send me your local shit, and I like.
Oh, so you can drink for free. So
Ooh,
you
that's-
don't get the
that's-
marketing.
Those are big
Right.
money.
Yeah.
trying to help you
I
out.
think the official the official beer of this band is Miller High Life.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
it's Rolling Rock. It's Rolling Rock.
Ooh.
You can't.
We are trying to
get rock and roll without Rolling Rock, baby.
Wait. We are trying to get a sponsorship so bad. We have tweeted at them. We have Instagram stories. We have added Rolling Rock dozens of times. No response.
No,
It's kind of fucked up.
But
It is.
You can't rock and roll
That is
without
true.
Rolling Rock.
Eric, if it makes you feel better, I have sent at least 3 emails to Pabst to get some sort of a shitty sponsorship for this podcast, and no response anytime. Not even
Anytime?
here. Not even a here's some stickers.
We have a Rolling Rock Fez.
Hell yeah.
That's why you talked about Rolling Rock. I got really excited. I forgot about it,
Rolling
fellas.
Rock is my depression beer, so I don't.
What is that? What is that?
You
That
got
pretzel
Fez.
company?
Wetzel's?
No.
I don't know. I have no
Auntie
idea.
Anne's?
Oh no! What's that?
I have no idea what he's talking
Company that I sent the email to trying to get a sponsorship.
Oh, Dots.
Dot. Have you seen Dot?
Mm.
So that's like my go-to like tour on the road snack, and I was just like, I don't know where we were. We were drinking. I sent them an email. I'm like, how about a sponsorship though? And they actually like that's it. Like nothing else, right? And they actually emailed me back, and I'm like, I can't believe that they would email me back for that. But like Rolling Rock won't even hit up like our legitimate.
Instagram or anything.
Mhm.
Like, we're
So-
tagging them often.
I mean,
Dot says, "Thank you for contacting Dot's Pretzels with your interest in collaborating. We must politely pass on this opportunity as we're already focused on other engagement."
They're too caught up with their other shit to
But
sponsor
like
us.
that's fine. Like we don't even get any. If Rolling Rock is listening right now, you're fucking up. That's it. That's all I'm
Now,
saying.
I gotta know, did you have the Rolling Rock Fez before or after like you started trying to get the Rolling Rock sponsorship?
So basically what happened when we were recording For Eternity, we were hanging out with homie Ben Roth, John Smith at the Kaleidoscope in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, my hometown. Huge shout out, those homies are the best. They did all the engineering and the mixing on it. We were hanging out and we were just drinking a lot of Rolling Rock. And while we were there, we were just like, oh damn, dude, they should really sponsor us. They got to figure this out. And then I forget, it was like a week or maybe a month afterwards, Dylan and their partner were like out at some like thrift, flea thing, whatever. And he got me the Fez. So it was like kind of like synergy. It just came together like lightning in a bottle. You can't, these things happen. I don't know. It was perfect. It's like we tried, they found it, and now here we are. So now it's just a matter of time until they hit us up.
Yeah, you got A, you just need B, which is that sponsorship from Rolling Rock, and then C's profit. And like,
Exactly.
they haven't done it yet. Like,
Yeah.
they're fucking up.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, some PR guy eventually will figure it out. It might be too late, who knows? But one day.
What you need to do is like almost start posting a bunch of stuff with like other like brands and then just like getting them jealous, because maybe that's what you
We
need to do is get them
tried, funny
jealous.
enough. Yeah, we were like, oh, maybe we can like get in with like PBRs. I forget. Like there was something we had tried to do.
Yo, maybe we should just start negging them. We'll just be
God.
like, oh,
Ooh, there you go.
Rolling Rock isn't really even that big.
Yeah, but that's a lot.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's the problem.
I can try. Well, but
One day.
one day.
Well, you know, hopefully in 2024, we also get that Rolling Rock sponsorship for In Lieu of Roses. You know, everything's got to come up Millhouse at some point, right?
Say that again.
I said everything's got to come up Millhouse at some point.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, absolutely.
It's finally coming up Millhouse. Yeah. Eventually.
In lieu of roses.
In lieu of Millhouse.
That's true.
Roses.
In lieu of Millhouse.
In lieu of roses.
In Rue, the character from the Hunger Games of Roses.
I meant like
The
in
band
rue,
that
like
you're-
you'll rue this day.
Sure.
Okay, we're getting dumb now.
Yeah.
Well, so you know, we kind of talked beers. That was a little beer segment. Now we're going to transition to the later half of this episode, which is always my favorite part of this episode. Eric already knows what's about to happen. This is where we kind of talk about some fun stories from everyone's time in music, whether it's shows, tours, time recording. It can be with In Lieu of Roses or previous. As I normally say, they can be anything horrendous to tremendous or any adjective in between. The way I like to think about it is think about the show or tour stories that you always reminisce about with your friends. Those are usually the best ones that I love to hear.
Oh wow! All right.
I know that's a whole spiel. That's a lot.
You've got a lot of
Yeah.
That's a
Oh,
lot.
that's too many.
Who wants to go first?
I'll start out. This is except because I was thinking about it today, and actually I meant to put it in the group Discord today, just because I was curious. Not this story, but like Green Day, whatever. Like, don't talk shit, whatever. Like Green Day
Yeah, right.
has a new album coming out in I think next week, which I didn't know until today.
What?
Where
Smart ass.
It's called like it's called something. It's called like Dilemma. But
Yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be on Broadway. Where do you
sorry, like whatever. Same thing about Sunday, like, I'm not gonna sit here and like I'm not a huge Green Day fan, but I was listening to Green Day's new single today, and I actually thought it was pretty good. Whatever. I mostly, if I'm being honest, I mostly listen to jazz music, so like this, whatever. But I was on tour with a band in 2018, not even playing, just running merch. And we were at like a small festival where not Green Day, but like the lead singer, Billy Joe Armstrong, his son was playing. And I'd been drunk and or stoned for I bet like 3 weeks straight at this point. And the guitar player of the band I was like with was like pointing at a dude who had like all these like, you know, like teenage girls around him. Not that he was like so old. He was like in his early 20s or whatever. And he's like, oh, like that's Billy Joe Armstrong's son. You should go get a picture with him. And I thought it was the funniest thing. And I was dressed like a cowboy, like Yellowstone, John Dutton cowboy, the hat, the jacket. I looked like an asshole. And I basically went up and like just pushed all these teenage girls out of the way. And was like, I looked this kid straight in the eye and went, listen, man, I love your father's band and I love your band. Can we get a selfie? And he was like, well, that's actually the guitar player. That's his, like, he's Billy Joe Armstrong's kid. I'll take a picture with you. And I was like, oh, fuck. Meanwhile, like, the dude who was on tour with was like, I see him at the merch table, falling over laughing while filming the whole thing.
Oh my god.
And that tour, there was many embarrassments and humiliation.
Oh,
with
Shannon.
Yeah. But that was probably the funniest one. The least funny one was not getting paid for it, but we don't need to go into that. Yeah. That was
We're not throwing anyone under the bus.
Oh,
on
I'm
this
not throwing any
podcast.
shit. I removed all names.
Yeah, I can't.
I'm taking the when when Bill and I used to play in this metalcore band, we like straight from the jump started touring like very quickly. Me and the guitar player had like known each other from like elementary school, so like
we were like ready to go, ready to get out there. And I remember on this one tour, we were driving, I think it was from Baltimore to Kentucky. It was like one of our first tours, and it was like we were gonna pull an overnight. It's not that big of a deal. It'll be fine. And it started snowing like really bad, and it's like, all right, it's fine. And then like some of the
city in Kentucky.
we were going to Louisville. We were gonna play. What was the name of the pizza place? Spinelli's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Spinelli's is the shit. We were playing with this band that used to be around. I don't know if they really do much anymore, called Nesh. And we were gonna do a little bit of a tour with them when we got to Louisville. On our way there, we're like driving through the snow through Appalachia and all this shit. And then like one cylinder in the van starts to go. And then it starts like not really accelerating right. And then another cylinder starts to go. And we really start like getting to a position where it's like, all right, are we gonna make it to Kentucky? We did. It was fine. Everything's good. We made it. But then on our way to, we played Kentucky, and then I think we played Malort Mansion right outside of Chicago, and then we were on our way to Ann Arbor in Michigan. On our way to Michigan, East Grand Rapids. We were playing East Grand Rapids in Michigan from Chicago. On the way from there, same deal, huge snowstorm. But this time, we find out Nesh had a situation where their van like spun out onto the median, and it was like a whole, big deal. And I was like, wow, that's pretty crazy, only to find out they didn't have any back seats in the van. So they had 2 pilot seats, and then they had a mattress that was like propped up against the gear. Yeah, and they were just like
on a road trip
riding.
Like horrible idea. Fuck that.
They made it. It was fine. The shows that we played with them were incredible. Love those kids, but yeah, that was wild. That was like easily like one of the scariest tours I think I've ever been on. Was that whole week or two? Yeah,
I remember I had.
You were gonna tell the story about the van getting towed.
Oh,
How was that not your
story?
story?
Okay. I can tell another one.
Not your
All right,
story.
so
Should I tell the?
yeah, you can tell that one. All right. There you go.
Eric, tell the story. Tell your story, Eric.
Okay, I'll tell mine real quick, and then we'll be time for your oh
Yes, that's I forgot about that.
Was this?
Was me and you were in the van.
I think mine is that we were going from an old band of mine. We were driving from right outside Chicago. What was it? It's that dude Seb Alvarez who's in Gel. You know that band Gel?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know the band, but I don't know like
Yeah.
where they're from.
What's the Malort Mansion? What
Yeah.
town was that in? Rockford, Illinois.
Elburn.
Yeah, Elburn. That's what it was. Yeah, and we were driving to Minneapolis actually, and the house that we were playing at, they're like, you can't stay here, which was like garbage because there was no reason we couldn't stay there. But okay, fine. So we were like, let's just break into a state park in Wisconsin, like halfway in between. So we hopped the curb, drove around the arm from the thing. We camped, and everybody else in the band decided they were going to do mushrooms, except for me. So they set up a tent, and they did mushrooms. I went to sleep, wake up at like 6 a.m, and I'm like, all right, I can't sleep in the back of this minivan anymore. Get in, go to sleep. I'll drive the rest of the way. Van breaks down immediately. Like within like 2-3 minutes driving down the road. We're in the middle of nowhere, Wisconsin, like absolutely like bumblefuck. We get to like it was like 7 a.m. We get to like some weird mechanic shop, and there's like, I don't know, a dude there with this dog with long hair covered in oil, dude. Like I swear to God, it was like this big dog with long white hair, just like completely oil stains. Somewhere in the middle of nowhere, Wisconsin. It was very weird. I was with Doug.
Yeah.
I was with Doug Trochum.
Trochum don't approach him.
Yeah. So, but anyway, we like leave the van there. They're all still tripping, right? So like this whole time, like the van breaks down, like they're all on mushrooms still. It's like like absolutely absurd. I don't know. We hang out in this random town in Wisconsin all day.
That Mark lost his base, right?
Yeah. Oh, and mind you, also in this time, our bassist loses his bass. This is the same drive.
Yeah.
I think probably just left it at a rest stop, like moving it out of the way or something. Yeah. Same day. Terrible, horrendous day. when we go, so we go.
Eric's very big. No.
Oh my god! So we go to a thrift store while we're in this town because we have nothing to do, and there's all these cheerleading warm-ups, right? Not the skirts, but like short shorts and like shirts. So we just buy them, but they're all matching. So we're like, oh yeah, cool. Like we need clothes. We left all of our clothes in the van. So then we're all it's matching cheerleading warm-ups, and we go back to the mechanic shop where there used to be one guy there. Now there's 10 guys, and they all stop working like a fucking movie at once. They stop working and they all stare at us when we're coming. And like I'm like, oh my god, there's so many people here, and they're all looking at us right now. Like, what the hell? It was just like deep V, like t-shirt things and
like,
short
if I
shorts.
was working on your van, I'd be like, what the fuck is going on?
They're all tripping balls, and I'm just like, sure, why not? This sounds like a funny idea, right? So whatever, we get the van and we go to Minneapolis, and all of them fall asleep like on the couch, like at the venue. It's like really hard to get them up. It was at a house, I think it was called like Kitty Cat Club or something. I can't remember.
Okay.
But I don't know. And then when we get there, people are like literally doing like acid with eyedroppers at the show. And we were in a post-rock band, so I'm like, let's go.
Great.
What the?
Yeah, dude, it was incredible.
That's
But
pretty
anyway, that was probably the dumbest thing in that tour. From all my probably. Yeah.
It was. I mean, when we
Let's. I want to let Dylan do.
Dylan, let's hear it. What do you got for us?
You need to do it, Logan.
I can tell it if Dylan's
Yeah.
going to.
I mean, Logan and I played in a band together. Fucking
Same band that I was talking about.
Binary.
But this was the
This was a different tour.
different tour.
40 Econolines found on road dead. Not a good touring vehicle. I'm telling you.
40 what?
Found
The
on the
Econoline?
dead. Ford.
Oh,
Thanks
the
for
Econoline,
very
yeah.
daily. Yeah, nah, some was Louisiana.
Yeah, there was a mechanic in Louisiana
Happened to just leave like a wrench.
because we had another cylinder issue on this
Shit.
tour.
Oh, they left
Yeah.
a wrench in the.
They left-
Oh,
yeah,
this.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
But we're in Baltimore because we're taking like a no toll route coming back from Richmond, Virginia
Overnight.
overnight. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning or some shit. Van just like sputtering out. We pull over, and AAA was just like, "All right, well, like we can only take 2 people," and we're like,
I need to speak a little bit up for the. Yeah.
so there's only 2 people can go with the tow truck driver now that the van broke down. And
Originally, we were told, like, when we were talking about it with our other bandmates, it was like, oh, I guess you guys can, like, get an Amtrak or, like, a bus back. And it was 3 o'clock in the morning in the middle of Baltimore. So we were like, yeah, fuck that.
No shot. Dude.
So we were, like,
Yeah.
talking and, like, trying to figure it out. And we were like, honestly, what happens if we just, like, hide in the van? So, yeah, dude rolls up with the tow truck. We're, like, hiding underneath the bench seats, like, underneath blankets and shit, trying to make sure he doesn't find us.
sleeping bags and shit. Like,
He gets in the van to like get it all up, doesn't notice us, and then like they're driving back, and we're like freaking out, like, oh god, what if he sees like the van start to smoke up from our breath or whatever? We're like worried about like, you know, even breathing, let alone smoking cigarettes. Yeah, trying to pop the window without him noticing. Just to fucking find out when we get
this
back,
motherfucker met up.
dude. So we get back to Philadelphia, we pull up in front of this girl.
and she gave him weed.
Yup.
He was smoking with
They were smoking in the cabin the entire ride, just like jaw jacking, just like talking shit. And we're back there like freaking out, like, oh my god, we're gonna get the van dropped off in the middle of Maryland. But it was fine. Bullshit.
The van gets dropped up in North Philly. And I'm just like, all right, I pop out, and the dude's still there. Like, he just dropped the van, slowly pulling out. Logan's like, yo, wait a second. I was like, what's he gonna do? He's back to Baltimore. Fuck it, dude, let's go. It's like 6 a.m. at this point because this fool.
Yeah, he took the leisure route.
Like, the van broke down at 3.
Yeah, you probably didn't get us till 4.
Yeah,
Takes about an hour and a half to get back to Philly.
And he stopped it.
Get weed from his girl. So
So the tow truck driver stopped to get weed.
supposedly that's what we were told. Yeah. AAA. Shout out.
And your bandmates were in the cab with him this entire time.
Yeah, the two of them were like up front, just like chiefing on a blunt.
And they didn't.
Attitude was like,
No,
Right? That's what I was gonna say. Like that's bad. Like band membership. Like at least send that text saying like, I think you're good. We're smoking anyways.
right? You would think, but nah. Yeah, I mean, bygones
Like
be
you can pop
bygones.
up in a seat. It's all good.
You're chilling. Yeah, AAA helped a lot on that tour. We locked our keys in the van in Georgia on that tour. That van sucked.
all right, Dylan, you're up to bat now.
Finally.
So is this just tour stories or like
Tour, show, time recording,
Okay,
basically anything music related. You're
Yeah, I
good.
was gonna say,
Yeah,
tour
it's like
You can't have that. We're starting a podcast.
stories.
okay, so I have like plenty of like weird like shit like that, but I'm just gonna go with like the like latest debacle.
I think I know.
So
I'm interested.
my like solo project, like I was saying, like played like a show with like Puppy Yanks, and like I like know this person I used to be in a band with when I was like in high school, and like since I've like graduated and like moved away from like my hometown, like I haven't kept in contact with that person. And I was like on the way to like load into this show, and this person like text me and they're like, hey, I like live in Brooklyn now, like I just like got on a bus to like come to your show.
Never a good sign.
And like I've already like heard like weird things through like the grapevine, be it like from like a friend that still lives like in my hometown, or just like people like on the internet about this person. I'm just like, okay, that's like fucking weird, like whatever. Anyways, like my like friends I'm with live in like Brooklyn at the time, which is like where this person is like coming into Philly to see the show from, and like have interacted with this person just like on some like stalker shit. like this person had like put together like I knew these people that live in Brooklyn. So anyways,
Did they make a t-shirt with your face on it?
that would have been cool.
Not bad.
But anyways, like my friends that were like hanging with me at the show like went up to like the door person and were like, can we put this person on the no entry list? And like I didn't even know that was a thing. Like I've never
heard of
I've never
That is a thing.
How can it be like
Unlimited.
they were like, do you want it on the guest list? And like a person, apparently the person was like, no, we want them on like the like no
the opposite?
like,
Like,
doesn't matter how much money you pay, like do not let them in. And so like apparently like I played my set, and like apparently this person had like showed up to the venue, and like the door person was like, no, like you're not allowed in. Like they had checked their ID and everything, and like apparently they hung outside the venue all night, and like I never went outside to like hang out because like I don't know, I was just like hitting my babe inside. Sorry, or leaves.
I was about to say, what venue was it?
But the fucking owner for the venue got called, and like I talked to him and he was like, does this happen at all your shows? And I was like, no, I'm so sorry. I like literally like have not talked to her in like years. And then we just left the venue. Yeah.
they were trying to convince me because I didn't know any of this, so I was outside.
Yeah, then they started like confronting like people, like they were like looking in the, like, so like there's all these windows outside of the venue that like you can look in and see the bar, and so like
Oh well, hold on. Can I ask you a question? Why did they want to come? Like, they just like they just wanted to like see your band.
I guess.
Probably just
They're
like
on
talk
some
to you.
stuff. They're
What, on some Starfucker shit or?
no, like they're like on some drug stuff.
Oh, it's like a drug thing.
Yeah, it's like some like meth shit.
Oh shit.
But they were like,
in your head when you
they
did
like
what it is.
kept pulling people aside and be like, I used to be in a band with Dylan. Do you know Dylan? Can you grab them? And I was like, oh yeah, cool. I got you. I'll go grab Dylan. I like thought their ID was fucked up or something. I'm like, oh Dylan, outside.
And Eric literally comes up to me and goes like, your friend Elizabeth's outside, and I go, don't talk to them again. Eric's like, oh shit.
I was like, I told him I'd be right back, and I want to smoke a cigarette. I'm screwed. I can't go. Like I can't go anywhere.
No,
I'm like, okay.
this is classic Eric. I'm just trying to be the nicest guy possible.
Yeah. But yeah, just some like weird stalker shit. It's like the summary. Yeah. That's it.
I mean, it happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
And the worst.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know this guy that well. I'm like, this guy, I don't-
You know, I think hearing you know, the possible full stalker story is probably like, I think, one of the craziest stories that I've heard, or like oddest stories. Like, thankfully they never made it in. Thankfully, you know, you're still safe, you're still alive, and get to keep going. But you know, we're gonna start leading this out, and I feel like I got one main question in the wheelhouse, but I got probably a dumb fun question. I don't know. In my mind, it sounds cool, but it's probably gonna come out of my mouth sounding super dumb and lame.
State of my life.
But let's say, you know, there is an anniversary or a big moment happening, and you know, each of you are about to receive a gift, but instead of roses, in lieu of roses, what would you rather have, or I guess, what would you rather give someone in lieu of roses? Yeah, let's go with that one. What would you rather give someone in lieu of roses as a gift?
So we used to have a T-shirt. So the first EP, right? Like, in lieu of roses, please send. Right? Like, we used to have in lieu of roses, please send. And what was on that shirt? It was like
Weed,
it was like weed, a beer, some cigarettes,
crumpled receipt.
like, yeah, like a pen and paper.
Stuff you would have in your winter coat.
Yeah,
So this was in your bag. Yeah.
I got big pockets.
Big what would I like to probably just like I don't know, my time, attention, and affection.
Oh.
I don't know. What I got.
Thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and
Oh, but nobody else.
oh.
That's not. Oh, what are you talking about? They stopped so many school shootings.
Exactly.
Oh, it's,
Our horse and savior.
I mean, weed probably. I don't know. Depends on the person.
Yeah.
Logan and his partner. So my fiance and I bought this house, and Logan and his partner live with us. And I would say for their relationship, weed sounds right.
Yeah.
Send me a movie rec I haven't seen. I bet.
Ooh, that's-
Good.
Oh,
Damn,
damn, a movie you haven't seen?
that's a challenge.
Have you seen RoboCop?
Yeah.
No, okay, I got nothing then.
What about the remake?
The only movie I've ever
Titanic
seen.
2.
I will say, I'm gonna say two things, which is my partner, who is best friends with Eric's partner. That's how we met. Got me a red Adidas tracksuit for Christmas,
Oh, yeah,
and that was
Ooh.
that's the only thing I've ever wanted. But
it's the only thing he's ever wanted. Never seen him wear it.
I was gonna
Hang out with him every week, multiple times a
dude,
week. Never seen him wear it.
I've been sick since I got it.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
I got this close to wearing it tonight.
Not for nothing, you are the Irish Jonathan Davis.
Yeah,
Do you have a gold chain you can wear with it
If you
too?
you know I did.
If you can get the
But in terms of the thing I love the most in a gift is just a nice card, like a nice, like, I'm gonna say something nice about you card. That's what I love the most.
Sorry, my mom.
You're at my birthday party. You signed the
I
card.
did. What's happened?
Yeah, I mean, now I really want an Adidas tracksuit, but that's just me. You know, me and my friends have said for like the last few years, like we should just get tracksuits, like nice, like velvet tracksuits, and just like because we like, especially if anyone's like an Always Sunny fan, the episode where Charlie and Matt get whacked, or the gang gets whacked, I guess. We have the Italian mobsters that are in like their nice tracksuits, and every time that episode comes on, we're always like, hey, we should totally get tracksuits. Like that'd be sick. And then
okay, so here's the
we
deal:
don't.
is that like he's from Mac is from this neighborhood, or from like a mile from here, right?
Okay.
And
He's from like right the
He's
when I lived on
Moymensic.
Third and
That's
Trade.
where he's from,
He was
yeah.
like, I think he lived at Second and Trade.
so when there's like these Italian men wearing tracksuits, that is like South Philadelphia is like, if you ride around in the summer, there will be like a man in his tracksuit and then his son with the same haircut and the matching tracksuit.
Yeah.
Like, and I love it so much. Like,
course.
I love seeing like a 10-year-old with like a fade
Yeah.
and like a tracksuit. I just think it's like adorable. I
No,
don't know,
it's
like,
one of those things where
yeah.
like, I love that.
Yeah.
But then when I see like you'll see it like if you ever go to like when you go to City Village or whatever, when you go into the stadium, you'll see like a dude who's like 50 wearing like just some fucking Nikes and some Nike socks, and then like either cargo or basketball shorts and like some graphic tee.
Yeah.
And their teenage son and their young son are dressed the exact same way.
Uh-huh.
And I can't stand that.
Why?
Because I'm like, you're all at different stages of your life. You should be expressing yourself differently. But then if I see the exact same thing, but it's tracksuits, I'm like, this is sick.
Everyone should get a tracksuit. That's a moral.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Everyone should get a tracksuit.
Child is
Everybody.
Moral of the story: everyone get tracksuits.
Yeah.
No, I'm living the tracksuit life now. It's the best. I can't recommend it highly
The
enough.
three of us are from Jersey. It's our birthright.
Yeah.
If you get check out the Aldi tracksuit. Aldi put out a tracksuit this year, or I guess last year. It was kind of fire.
What?
We were on
Like-
the Aldi tour. Remember we talked about that.
Like Aldi, like the grocery store
Grocery
Aldi put out a tracksuit.
Yeah.
All what?
They did like a merch line this year around like spring, summertime.
I
Eric,
guess they're trying to keep up with the competition, but they
Yeah,
can't
I'm not-
because guess what, Dill? Come on.
Yeah,
man.
I'm gonna have to look this shit up. I got a friend that is a manager at Aldi's. We're gonna have to make this shit happen.
Oh yeah. This
Oh,
is my
Buc-ee's.
favorite piece of tour merch.
Yeah. One of my friends who was a former roommate of mine, they toured through Texas, stopped at Buc-ee's, and he came back with, it's like this lavender tie-dye full like sweatsuit. And it looks amazing.
I know exactly the one you're talking.
Yeah.
I've seen it. Oh.
But you know, those are all great answers. Everyone that's listening, if you know them, you know what to get them for In Lieu of Roses. My final question to kind of end off this episode, I always like to end off on a high note. I know we're already like, we're laughing, we're giggling, we're already on that like nice cusp of this, but I want to take it one step further. Obviously, you know, this is a little bit difficult because, you know, two of you are newer to In Lieu of Roses, so it'll be kind of like a two-part question for everyone is, you know, what has been your favorite moment of being in Puppy Yanks so far, or
Puppy Yanks.
what is the
Puppy Yanks.
sorry, oh shit, yeah, my bad, my bad.
It's gonna be
It's just
That's true.
just Eric.
Logan was on the Puppy Yanks South by Southwest tour. So,
We're close enough, you know.
at this point.
yeah.
So let me redo that. For everyone sitting here, what has been your favorite moment of In Lieu of Roses, or what is a moment that you're most looking forward to as now being part of In Lieu of Roses?
I think for me, it was our release show. I mean, it was like everything I could have hoped for, honestly. Like, really great crowd response. Our friends made signs. I don't know. Like, I thought that was just like really fun and cute, and I don't know. It was great. It was just like kind of just felt really good while we were there. Like, everyone was kind of like hanging on every word. Like, it's just like exactly what you want out of a live show. So
Same.
yeah.
Yeah. I feel like the whole lineup and the crowd, everybody that came out, like we said earlier, it almost sold out Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
But like it was a room full of like friends, and it was just like a really sick like vibe to have.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, the release show was sick. I really love that. But honestly, as exciting and great that was, it was the momentum from that into this next thing that I feel like I'm the most excited for. Like showing that, like, okay, cool, people are excited about what we're doing. People care about this. So it's like, how do we keep that going and like keep people interested as we're working on this new thing? And then when we put it out, like showing like what we can eventually do.
Right.
Yeah, I think my favorite moment, I don't like collaborate with like a bunch of people, so like it's like cool to just like hang out like in a room like full of musicians, just like mess around, bounce off each other. I think I'm like just like looking forward to just like having like I don't know, like a say or like just like helping like form songs and get them recorded and out.
Oh, yeah. I think I would say, I mean, I just the release show was awesome. It was everything you'd ever hope from a show. I think my favorite thing so far besides that was just the first show I played with the band. It was my first time playing music in like probably 4 years. And like I truly didn't believe I like had it in me anymore. So to go back and like, just have that feeling again, has propelled, I've since then have not wanted to stop and just like want to keep making music with these people. So for me, that was like where was that at that bar in Port Richmond?
Is that Tin Can?
Yeah, Tin Can.
Let's go.
I had to take him out of retirement. So.
Yeah. Well, out of retirement, then like I almost like I was like on the
one last job.
Yeah. No, literally, I was like, I'm never gonna play
If
music
anybody
again.
from
Like
Philadelphia
live.
wants to start a dart team, so we can come back on the Tin Can bar.
Yeah.
It'll happen.
Yeah, that was definitely like
Let us know.
Yeah.
You gotta play outside first. It sucks.
Yeah, those are all amazing moments, and I'm stoked. Like I've said, I'm stoked to see what 2024 and the future brings for In Lieu of Roses. If anyone's looking for merch, music, or In Lieu of Roses in general, where can they find it?
So, like the music and merch is up on our Bandcamp. So I probably have some more stuff I need to post for merch wise. But yeah, Bandcamp. I mean, and then for music, it's on all the streaming stuff.
I recommend that music because I'm the only one there. And it's sick. It's sick over now music.
I don't know. Whatever you want, whatever you're feeling, do that. I don't know if Please Send is going to exist on the internet for that much longer.
I don't know about that.
Well, I don't know if it's going to exist on the streaming sites.
All right, fair.
It might exist on Bandcamp.
Yeah.
In perpetuity, but it might not last on
That's
other
fine.
sites
That's
for that
fine.
much
Yeah.
longer. So
Gotta keep the history, the archives, man. That's what.
I know.
When we're
trying to drive scarcity, right?
Yeah.
Make
the tapes worth something.
Story.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, depending on where you found this episode, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, X, Threads, or you watch the YouTube version and got to see their lovely faces like I did tonight, make sure you check the description down below, hit the hyperlinks, go follow In Lieu of Roses on all their platforms, stay up to date for new music, be ready for that full length, be ready for possible tours this year, new merch, or just go get yourself some of the merch that's already out. I know that there's tapes for I was like on a roll, and then I was like in eternity or for eternity, so I have to.
No, we got tapes for everything. Yeah, we got a bunch.
Okay, you got tapes for everything. Ignore that I just did that whole thing wrong.
Shirts.
But
we make all of our merch ourselves,
which is so dope.
Better than a day when you think you're gonna practice, and it's like, no, you're gonna be making shirts today. Bud.
Yeah, sorry, we are screen printing today.
Yeah. Sorry, we're a sweatshop today.
Yeah, basically.
But yeah, everyone go follow those links, stay up to date with everything from In Lieu of Roses, and one last big thank you to the 5 of you for taking the time out of your day to sit down with me and talk about your band.
Yeah, thank you for everything.
Yeah. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Other than that, Everyone, like I said, go follow In Lieu of Roses, and I'll catch everyone on the next episode.
Cool.
See ya.
See ya.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is with them.